Welcome back, America. Senator John Cornyn of Texas is one of our favorite senators, great friend of the program. He is on Senate Finance Committee, Senate Intel Committee, Senate Judiciary Committee. Good morning, Senator. Merry Christmas to you. Where do we find you today? Are you in town or are you in Texas?
No, I'm in Washington D.C. We're still voting on some of these terrible nominees that President Biden has recommended for the federal bench, but we're almost through. We got to keep the government running, so we've got a deadline of about 2 weeks to do that. Got to pass a defense authorization bill, and unfortunately, due to the way Senator Schumer has mishandled the agenda, we are not doing important things like passing a farm bill, among other things.
Now, Senator, I want to ask you about two things specifically. One is Kash Patel's nomination for the Bureau because you're on Intel and Judiciary, and the other is budget reconciliation because you've been the whip, you've been around for a long time. First of all, will Kash Patel be confirmed, as I expect he will be, but you're the guy who knows. What do you think?
Yes, he will be. People I have great respect for, people like Trey Gowdy, have recommended him highly. I'm still looking to schedule a meeting with Kash, but I think, certainly has vast experience, including working on the House Intelligence Committee on the Russiagate scam and the Steele dossier scandal. So look forward to meeting with him. I met with Pam Bondi, the next Attorney General, yesterday. She speaks highly of him. So people I know and who I trust speak well of him, and I'm looking forward to meeting with him.
That is great news. Now, on the question of budget reconciliation, Senator, it's complicated, but I want it to be big. I want the tax cuts made permanent. I want the border fixed. I want energy loosened up. When do you think we'll see a budget resolution that the House and the Senate can agree to in the first of the trailer bills?
Ideally, before the President Trump is sworn into office on January the 20th. As you may recall, that's what we did in 2017 when we passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We actually passed a budget resolution, which is a prerequisite to reconciliation and actually doing the tax reform that we did. But I think we have a generational opportunity here, Hugh, to deal with two of our biggest problems in America. One is our incredible debt, which is threatening our economy and our prosperity, but also our ability to defend ourselves and our allies around the world and reestablish what Ronald Reagan preached was peace through strength. We've got a very dangerous time now where both of those challenges, both of those problems are intersecting. And my personal goal, in addition to the ones you mentioned, is going to be to deal with both of those.
Now, how long do you think it will actually take? Because it seems to me that the negotiations between the House and the Senate with representation from the president-elect ought to be underway already. Do you think they are?
Yeah, they are. There's three groups that need to be aligned. One is we need to be aligned with the Trump transition to understand what their priorities are. But then, of course, Speaker Johnson has a very thin majority in the House, and they're basically going to have to get everybody on board because this is a party line vote exercise. And, of course, we have a little bit more of a cushion here in the Senate. I think, as you said at the beginning, this is a complex process. And this is really the last opportunity I think we're going to have in a very long time to do some very important things. And so I think the process of trying to get everybody aligned so we can get that budget resolution passed at the first part of January is a little messy. But this is we'll get there.
Boy, it's so urgent because if we want the economy to boom and productivity to increase and therefore inflation to decrease, we need that budget resolution first, right? That unlocks everything.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, I was whip and the chief vote counter for Republicans back in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act era, and I sort of look at this in a very basic way. How do we get the 51 votes we need in the Senate? How do we get the majority vote in the House? And how do we get concurrence with the president, who's won an impressive election victory and gotten quite a mandate. We're scrambling a little bit, but I think that's normal. We'll get our act together. We'll get on the same page, I am confident, by the turn of the year.
Okay, last question has to do with the House, not your chamber. But you're right. We got a 5-person majority there. You can have two people decide they want to take a walk on this, and they'll get primaried. But do they understand? Would they miss this door? Would they walk past this door?
Yeah, I think part of the problem I've seen in the House is some of those folks look at problems through a soda straw, and they don't really see the overall larger context. And what I'm going to try to do, and I'm confident what the president and John Thune and others and Mike Johnson are going to try to do, is emphasize to them this is a once in a generational opportunity. If we miss this opportunity, shame on us. And so I'm confident that we won't, and that we will come together and pass a budget resolution and do the sorts of things which will, as you point out, unleash American prosperity and peace through strength.
It's all about that budget resolution, and you're right about the military rebuild as well, as always. Senator John Cornyn, great to talk to you. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us.
Hugh.
Thank you. I'll see you around town. Bundle up, because, man, it's bitter outside. I'll be back tomorrow, America.